everybody. Welcome to our first week of academics. So we have a lot to talk about. First of all, I just want to acknowledge all of you. I've been absolutely blown away by the level of engagement and dedication that you've all been demonstrating this whole first week of school. I think your kids are in a really good position to do very well this year. But you guys are probably the class that has the most demanding situation on your hands due to the situation that we're in. You need to be continually engaged with your child to be able to initiate and follow through with tasks. You just have a lot on your plate that a lot of the other populations don't have. So I just want to acknowledge you and say thank you and just how absolutely amazed I've been with the first week. So I am going to go ahead and get started. And the first thing we're going to talk about is setting up a space for their academics. This can be called like your workspace or your special spot or something along those lines. And it's just a predictable place where they go when they're doing their academic work so that they have a nice flat surface in front of them, and hopefully they have sorted out their sensory kit and put it in a box where it's a little bit more organized and they can see everything. I personally have not done that yet, and it's in a big pile on the floor right now, but I understand the value of being able to put it out where the kids can see everything and be able to find everything very well. So that's the sensory kit part. So we're not going to be talking about that today. We're talking more about the academic portion. So one thing that they all had in the classroom was a very structured, every 15 minutes we were either looking at their behavior plan or everything was very, very structured. So what I did a lot of was breaking things up into small pieces with their academics. So one thing that was a really good tool for me was the sand timers. These are a visual sand timer. This is a 1 minute. They have 5 minutes and 10 minutes. But it's a great way to say, okay, for the next 5 minutes, here's what we're going to work on. And when they can see that and then know that they can get a little break afterwards, that makes a really big difference for them. And just breaking things up into small pieces and having everything very visual for them so they understand the expectations. So on that note, in the spring I sent home something like this. It was a to-do list, to do and finished, and they had their, this was their way of kind of keeping track of their schedule. You can make something along these lines if you had enough Velcro and all that kind of stuff. But another thing you can do is to have either a piece of paper on your refrigerator with magnets or using some kind of a magnet board like this where they can put their something tactile, put from to do to done, and they're going to be using that for all the different activities of the day. And it just is a feeling of accomplishment and a sense of organization for them. So basically we'll be doing a body and balance activity every morning before we start our academics. And that's 5 or 10 minutes. Then we'll have math for 10 to 20 minutes, depending on the level of engagement that you think you can have with your child. So 10 to 15 minutes of math, 10 to 20 minutes of math, 10 to 20 minutes of reading, another body and balance activity, then literacy, and then fine motor, and then sensory activities, and then at the end is another body and balance activity. So we're front loading them at the beginning of each academic block, basically. So once they're doing those body and balance activities, it'll make them much more able to sit and focus when it is time to do the actual academics. So that is kind of the way I want to break it up. So let's just go ahead and start talking about our materials. I have a bunch of sensory activities for you to try with the kids with the rainbow tiles. So I'm basically doing a rainbow tile theme for this week. So everything is going to be using these tiles. So we're going to start with math, and we'll talk about what we're going to be doing. I have broken everything down into 5 to 10 minute tasks, and you can block them in 2 or 3 activities at a time. You know, however long it takes for your child to get through this, through these lessons. But basically, I will be specifying when I put out your homework schedule which 2 I would hope that they would do. If they want to try one more during that time, that's great. But we'll be starting with just 2 of the activities at a time. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to model for you what I'd like for you to do with the math, because the math is a lot of stuff that I'm going to be showing you here. So the first thing is, everybody got a big piece of paper in their learning kit, and we're just going to have you make a big grid with the 8 different sections. And the first thing they're going to do is they're going to sort by color with their tiles. And so you're just going to pour them out on the table. They've got a nice spot here, plenty of room. And they're going to be sorting by color. So that's the first step. That's the first challenge, is they're sorting by color. And I'm just going to do a few of these so we can kind of get the idea of what comes next. So basically, they're looking at their tiles and they're trying to figure out how many they have based on looking at the tiles. They're going to be doing an estimation activity. So they're going to look at these tiles and try to decide which one has more, which one has less. Maybe they have the same. And so the next thing they're going to do, they're going to make their prediction which one has more, and then they're going to stack them by color. They're going to stack them like this. And then they will get a different kind of visual about the amount of the tiles. So this is a good fine motor for just stacking and then being able to visualize how many there are in this other way. And then you can talk about it and say, well, let's see, it looks like the blue one has the most, the red one has the least, and these ones look the same. So that's an interesting little exercise right there. So that is your estimation and stacking. And then you're going to count each color. So one thing we want to talk about a little bit is one-to-one correspondence, which basically means when you have a pile of items for them to count, that you are having them remove them from the group as they count, so that they're not doing this. They're not like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We want to talk about one-to-one correspondence, where they're each time they count, it's with that 1, and then 2, 3. It's much easier if they can remove them from the group as they count, and then that helps with the one-to-one correspondence where they're actually counting each one. So now we're going to go on to the next activity, which is working with the math number line. So everybody got a, let me get that, darn it, I don't have that with me. So the first page of your number line packet looks like this. So this is the page that you're going to be working on this week. I'm going to have you do 3 to 4 each day. And we're just going to go ahead and we're going to get our yardstick number line. And the first thing we're going to have you do is just to put 20 tiles starting at 1. We're working with the inches, not the centimeters, inches. So they are going to just randomly pick some tiles and they're going to put 20 on, and you're going to help model the counting, and they're going to put 20 on their number line, counting to 20. And if you guys have a different goal where you are working with just up to 10. This is just a great opportunity to model counting with them. So the first activity with the number line in the tiles is to put 20 tiles down, and they're all an inch long, and it lines up beautifully. So that is that's their first number line task. After that, what they're going to do is you're going to show them the addition up to 20, and they're going to do 3 of each group, each color. So 3, let's see, there's a better example. 4 plus 5, so 4 of each of 4. Let's say 4 blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 of a different color. So they can really visualize that. 2, 3, 4, 5, and then there it lines right up for the 9. And so they're going to write 9 there. 4 plus 5 is 9. Okay, so that is the first addition with the number line. Now we're going to be, you're going to do, like I said, 3 to 4 of these a day. This is the first page, and this is what we're focusing on for this week. We are also going to be taking out our grid. Everybody got this grid in a plastic sheet protector, and you're going to be looking at the packet that has, it's towards the end. So it's this packet here that has the shapes like this. So what they're going to do is they're going to do 1 page of this week, and they're going to put the tiles on and build their shape. And they are going to cover it, and so they're putting their shape on there. How many blocks did I use? So they're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and now the next challenge is with the grid, they're going to replicate that design. So they're going to put it over here, and they're going to try to make the same shape. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they're doing a little hand-eye coordination. So that is what they're going to do with the grid and this shape. I can build a shape. So let's see, what's the next thing? And the next thing I'm going to ask them to do is just to challenge them with the grid work, is to create some kind of a design of any kind. They can use their tiles in any way they want. If they want to try to make a smiley face, if they want to try to make any kind of a pattern, they are allowed to spend 5 minutes just creating some kind of a design or picture. So that is a 5-minute activity right there. So they're invited to do something creative with the tiles, and then they're going to start to work with 2s and 3s. So we're going to be counting by 2s. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take 2 of one color, and we're going to put them right here. And then we're going to take 2 of another color, and 2 of another color, to 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay? And they're going to keep going. They're going to make another pattern on the bottom by 2s. And then so they're going to go ahead and do all the way to 2s with 20. And then we're going to make a pattern of 3. Pattern of 3. And you're going to do that all the way along these 2 lines. And then after that, we're going to challenge them to do some kind of their own kind of pattern. So like I might go 1 red, 2 greens, a pink, and a purple, and then you're going to do it again. 1 red, 2 greens, a pink, and a purple. So they're making a pattern. And this is really, really important to learn the foundations for multiplication and sequential reasoning. So they're creating a pattern. So that is one of the challenges. And then we are also going to be talking about multiplication in the sense of the analytical aspects of multiplication for them to understand what multiplication is and to begin to be using that language. So basically they're going to take 20 tiles. They're going to have their grid right here. You're going to take 20 and you're going to start by making 2 rows of 10. And they're going to be able to say, and you can model that for them, 2 rows of 10 makes 20. So they're starting to see that 2 times 10 is 20. This is called an array. So there's our first array. 2 times 10 is 20, or 2 rows of 10, okay? So now they're going to do another array with the 20, and they're going to make 4 rows of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4 rows of 5 makes 20. Okay? And then the last array they're going to do is 5 rows of 4 makes 20. So you're going to do 5 rows of 4. And then they can start to see how multiplication works. This is all about number sense, and they have multiplication standards that we are trying to reach, and the first step of that is actually understanding what it means and starting to understand what these numbers mean and what these operations actually mean. So that now you have 4 rows of 5. Okay, so that is your arrays. Okay. And then the last activity I have for you for the grids is this. You're going to have them start with 1 tile and you're going to put it in the far left high corner. And then you're going to have your treasure hunt, which is going to be a stack of colored tiles over here in the bottom right-hand corner. Now the challenge is they need to know how to go along the path to get to the treasure, but they have to be able to scoop up these other ones on the way. So basically I'm putting up a tile right there. I'm going to put a tile down here. I'm going to put a tile here. So basically you're going to set the tiles so that they have to go across to get that tile. And then once they do that, then they can go down. So they're following along the grid. You've gotten that one. You can go across, and then you grab the next one, and then you go all the way down, and then you make the treasure. So they're doing motor planning. They're figuring out their strategy of how they're going to get to their treasure while they've also scooped up these other tiles. So you can do any number of configurations. They need to go down to here and across to here to get this one. And then they still need to keep going this way. So across here and down here. So that is another grid challenge. So let's see. That basically sums up the way that the lessons are laid out for the math. So again, these activities can take between 10 and 20 minutes for a couple of them, and you're starting out with a body and brain movement exercise before we start with the math so that they're front loaded and they're ready to focus. So that is how the math is going to go for this week. We are going to talk now about reading comprehension. So I have a dozen or so read alouds in my YouTube channel, Sarah Ruth McNitt at YouTube. And what I'm going to ask you to do every day is to watch the video, one of the videos first, just watching it to enjoy the story. And then you're going to go back and you're going to watch it again. This can also be you doing a read aloud with them, or it can be my read alouds. So you're going to start by just enjoying the story together, and then you're going to go back and read it again, and they are going to be talking about the elements of the story with their comprehension sticks. Everybody has these comprehension sticks in their learning kit. So basically, a long time ago in a land far, far away. Oh, that's setting. Time and place. That's setting. There lived a princess who lived in a castle. Who? Oh, it's a character. So you can go, oh, that's the character. Okay. And then she was very lonely because blah, 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 blah. The problem. Okay, so we're talking about the problem now. And there could be more than one problem, but they're starting to identify the different elements of the story. And then every story has a solution. So we're going to be teaching them how to put up their solution stick. So this is something you'll do every day with my read alouds or with one of your own. Enjoying the story first and then going back and analyzing it in more detail with the comprehension sticks, okay? For literacy, we are going to be using both the Foundations magnet board, and we are going to be using our magnet board and letters that I gave you guys. So you'll be using this magnet board and these letters, and you're going to alternate each day. You're going to do Foundations first, and then Tuesday you're going to be working with these ones, Wednesday this one, Thursday this one, and Friday this one. So the first week we are just focusing on letter sound identification. So basically it's basically letter sound drills. Let's get them warmed up again. A, apple, ah. B, bat, b. So they're going to put it down in alphabet order. C, cat, k. D, dog, d. E, elephant, eh. F, f. Fun, f. So that's how that's going to look with the foundation board on the days that you're doing this. We'll probably start on Tuesday for your first activity. Will be just putting out the letters and putting them in alphabet order. So that is the activity for your their first time using this board, is to just spread everything out and put it in order, in alphabet order. So you're going to be doing that on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you're going to be doing your letter sound identification. And it doesn't have to be a drill in the sense of, what is this? What is this? You could even say, you know, hat, ha, and you can say, what am I wearing on my head? Hat. Like, you can make it a little bit fun for them, and it's no pressure. You can even just pick out the vowels, or just pick out 3 or 4 of the letters and focus on that. But basically they are going to go through the whole alphabet, and we're going to talk about each letter independently. A, B, C, D. Okay, so that is for literacy. For handwriting, which is part of literacy, I'm asking everybody to make some copies of this hold on. you're going to be making lots of copies of this paper that's on the front of your literacy in the blue folder, this one. So the thing that's special about this is that it has the skyline, plane line, grass line, and worm line. And for this coming week, they're going to be practicing writing their name, and they're going to be doing the capitals all the way at the top at the skyline, and then diving letters in all the way going down, like J's and G's and whatnot. So I'm going to be doing a lesson on this so you can see how to do that. But basically, make a bunch of copies of this and have them practice writing their name. That's going to be something you do every day. Okay. And then as far as the fine motor, you're going to be using your purple folder. And for this first week, these are the Monart drawing pages. So I'm going to have you make copies of this one too. Just this one top one, you're going to make 5 copies of this. And you're going to start by highlighting the shape. And this has all the different elements of shape here. And they're practicing making curved lines, straight lines, dots, circles. It's great for fine motor, and it's great for writing in the alphabet as well. So start by making some copies of this, highlight, and then they can trace, and then they're challenged to draw the same thing over here. So that is going to happen on a couple of the days of the week. And then the other one is they're going to be taking out their hole puncher and their scissors, and they're going to cut these out, and they're going to be challenged to do the hole punch around the circles. So that is going to be what they're working on for fine motor this week. And then for sensory, 3 times a week, I will have more and more videos uploaded with lots of fun arts and crafts stuff for them to do, 3 a week, and if they can do more, that's wonderful. Even once a week, I can give them extra credit for that. But all those hands-on arts and crafts stuff are going to be great for them. And then they also have to be doing the body and balance. So that is something that I'm going to be putting up as well. So I have a whole bunch of body and balance and sensory activities with rainbow tiles that I'm going to be putting on my sensory enrichment playlist. So it's all about rainbow tiles this week, and all the math and all the sensory stuff will be based on these very simple materials. So thanks again, everybody, for all of your amazing support of your kids, and I hope it's a great week, and I think it will be. All right, thanks, good luck.